Okay, I made a mistake in my last video, which I removed from YouTube. It wasn't Cody Snead who brought Nikolas Cruz around. It was Jameson Snead. Jameson Snead. J.T. Snead. The parents wouldn't give his name out to the Times or on television. They just called him JT, but I checked it out. It was Jameson Tweed. Snead. Got him mixed up with the Tweed gang. He knew the kid had a bad reputation. He was in junior ROTC with him. He heard all the stories about him. Yet he brought him to live in his parents' house. And his father, claims, oh, we're just going to help a poor kid out there. We're going to try and get their hands on the kid's inheritance. So they let him in the house. And what does he bring with him? He brings a whole arsenal, at least 8 long guns, one of them that had the stock cut off to make it into a pistol-like device. And he brings bulletproof vests. He brings hundreds of rounds of ammo. And, they let him have access to that AR-15. When the story first broke, the SWAT team called him up, and he told the SWAT team, according to the head of the SWAT team, according to CNN, that he had one key, that James Snead said he had one key, and Nikolas Cruz had the other key. Later, he changed his story and said, that when he bought the safe, he only thought there was one key, and he had the only key, but Nikolas must have kept the key. Who sells a gun safe with one key? Okay? What happens if you lose the key? You don't have a duplicate. You get at least two keys when you purchase a gun safe. And, and then James Cruz, he refused to take phone calls from Cruz's relatives who wanted to warn him how dangerous the kid was, and who was observing, the relatives were observing his Instagram posts. And then you got Jameson Snead was a follower of his Instagram posts. Now, Jameson's friends say, oh, it was a sanitized Instagram feed that he observed. There was no sanitized Instagram feed. They were all crazy. I'm going to be a school shooter. I want to killing animals, the whole 9 yards. He saw this stuff. He knew about it. Yet he brought this kid into his house, gave him access to AR-15. And what happened? All these kids' lives were terminated. They didn't even get a chance to live their fucking lives out because of Jameson Cruz. He's responsible, and so is his father. They say, oh, we didn't have any trouble with him. But guess what? The mother took him over to a psychotherapist shortly before the event. Sickening. The whole thing is sickening. So many, they could have found the IP address of this kid when he posted, I want to be a professional school shooter, on Ben the Bounty Hunter's YouTube comments. They could have found the IP address. They could have got it from the DNS server at YouTube with an emergency request for information. The police, the feds would have been sitting around there in Mississippi. They were probably appointed by Lynch and Obama and that whole crew told Comey to go and hire a lot of minorities, so they're more interested in civil rights violations and school shooters. But we'll never find out who the feds were that screwed up, who the intake specialist in D.C. who ignored a call saying that he was going to be a school shooter and a lot of other things. We'll never find out. Nothing will happen to them. You need a congressional investigation of this whole thing, what went wrong, and bring the kid under oath, and bring the father and mother under oath, and let them explain how they gave this kid access to a semi-automatic weapon designed to kill people. Or they said, oh, we thought he was going to go hunting. What's there to hunt in Broward County? Alligator? He was going to go alligator? And the alligators had guns, so he needed a bulletproof vest. Come on. He went there, the kid went there in his junior ROTC shirt when he did this. And 3 ROTC kids lost their lives trying to save others. This has got to stop. This has got to stop. You got to, first thing is put the little miscreant to death, because he was a bad seed. His mother was a junkie whore who would have sex with blacks and whites and everybody fucking imaginable. And she gave him up for adoption. She's the best. She should have had an abortion. She should have aborted these little bad seeds, because they were bad from the very start. And then the do-gooder, Linda Cruz, takes them into this beautiful house, and all she gets is crap from them. But she covers up. She doesn't want the kid to have a criminal record. So when the cops come around, she says, oh, everything's been settled, you know, time and time again. And then you have that little arrogant bastard from New York City, Israel Hands. No, that's Treasure Island. Scott Israel. Okay, he's a disgrace to the Jews. He's fanning the flames of anti-Semitism by refusing to resign. He reads from the Talmud to console people. And his deputies just stand around. What were they doing? You know, smoking a joint out there or something? It's a failure of law enforcement. It's a failure of the Sneads. It's a failure of the school. And it's a failure of Jameson, Snead.